What is up, my beautiful tennis fanatics? Welcome back to Courtside Classic. It is your girl, Mira here, and today I have a story that is so juicy, so chaotic, and so utterly game-changing that the billionaire executives over at Nike and Adidas are literally losing sleep. I want you to grab your tea, grab your popcorn, and buckle up, because we are diving deep into the biggest corporate betrayal and boss move in the history of women's sports. Imagine being 20 years old, having the biggest athletic brands on the planet throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at your feet and looking them dead in the eye and saying, "No thanks, I'll just do it myself." That is exactly what Philippine tennis sensation Alex Eala just did, and the sports marketing world will never, ever be the same. Let me set the scene for you, because the drama of this is just too good. The meeting at Nike headquarters over in Beaverton, Oregon, was supposed to be completely routine. You know the drill: quarterly projections, market analysis, the usual corporate rhythm of a global giant patting itself on the back. But when the marketing executives pulled up the latest merchandise numbers from the Asian market and the Miami Open, the entire room went ice cold. I am talking absolute pin drop silence. Alex Eala's jersey sales had accounted for an astonishing 57% of all merchandise sold at the Miami Open. Let that sink in for a second. More than Coco Gauff, more than Iga Swiatek, more than world number one Aryna Sabalenka. All of the top-ranked players in the world combined sold less merchandise than Alex Eala alone. Filipino fans had completely hijacked the tournament. They crashed the ticket systems on the day sales opened. They packed the stadiums to the rafters, turning a standard tennis tournament into a massive, deafening celebration of national pride. Every single session featuring Eala sold out within hours. Coco Gauff even had to tip her hat to the phenomenon, saying after her Dubai match, "Eala has a huge fan base. She actually would be number one, probably." When Coco Gauff is telling the press that your fan base is the biggest in the game, you know you have reached an untouchable level of cultural impact. The numbers had been building for months, creeping upward like a massive tidal wave that no one at Nike or Adidas seemed to take seriously until it was literally crashing over their heads. In Dubai, ticket sales jumped 48% year-on-year, a spike directly attributable to Alex's presence on the court. The tournament director, Salah Talak, straight up admitted that they had never seen anything like it. She brought a completely new demographic to the sport. The stadium was sold out for every single one of her matches, and fans were desperately scrambling for tickets that simply did not exist. Then, at the Australian Open, her first-round match on court 6 drew queues that wrapped all the way around Melbourne Park. Security literally had to turn away hundreds of fans. Her pre-tournament press conference drew 196,000 views. That is more than 6 times the views of Carlos Alcaraz and nearly 20 times the views of Aryna Sabalenka. The Eala effect was real, it was loud, and it was terrifying to the sportswear giants who have built their entire multi-billion-dollar business models around having exclusive access to the world's biggest athletes. Now, for Nike, these numbers were particularly devastating. They had invested years and millions of dollars into cultivating Alex as a brand ambassador. They thought they had her locked down. Their relationship started back in 2019 when a 14-year-old Alex signed her first endorsement deal with the swoosh. She was a promising junior with a massive dream, and Nike saw the spark. They watched her grow from ITF tournaments to junior Grand Slam titles, all the way to the professional tour. But it was at Wimbledon in 2025 that Nike really thought they had cemented her loyalty forever. As Alex prepared for her debut on the hallowed grass courts, Nike sent her a bespoke, one-of-a-kind white hair tie adorned with a single sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. It wasn't for commercial sale. It came with a handwritten message that read, "Every dream begins as a seed. Kung may tinanim, may aanihin. What you plant, you'll one day reap." A Filipina on the grass courts of history, not just playing for herself, but carrying a nation in full bloom. Alex was moved to tears. She posted it on Instagram, writing about how the flower of her country was a reminder of where she came from. The post blew up, drawing over 125,000 likes in a matter of hours. Nike followed it up with a massive push, creating the Nike By You in Full Bloom collection. They flew her to Oregon, put her portraits up in their legendary headquarters, and even featured her in Vogue Philippines with stunning photography by Mark Nickdow, wearing custom Nike gear paired with the Sampaguita motif designed by Manila-based artist Georgina Camus. For Nike, it was a masterstroke of cultural marketing. They weren't just selling shoes, they were honoring her heritage. They thought they were telling a beautiful story that would make Alex loyal for life. But in my personal opinion, Nike got way too comfortable. They thought a custom hair tie and a few magazine spreads were enough to keep a queen on a leash. What they didn't realize was that the gift was actually an awakening for Alex. She realized that Nike could give her all the custom accessories in the world, but at the end of the day, her fans weren't buying Nike because they loved the swoosh. They were buying it because they loved her. She didn't need Nike. Her fans would buy whatever she wore, regardless of the logo on her chest. While Nike was busy trying to win her heart with flowers and Vogue shoots, Adidas was watching from the sidelines with a completely different strategy. Brute, overwhelming financial force. Early in 2026, the German sportswear giant panicked and decided to just buy the phenomenon. Rumors exploded that Adidas offered Alex Eala a staggering $150 million endorsement deal. Let me repeat that. $150 million for a 20-year-old player ranked outside the top 10. It was one of the largest endorsement offers in the history of women's tennis. They wanted to make her the absolute centerpiece of their expansion into Asian markets, leveraging her massive popularity in the Philippines and across the entire Filipino diaspora. The deal included signature shoe lines, apparel collections designed specifically for the Asian market, and equity stakes that would make her a true partner. For almost any other athlete on the planet, this is a no-brainer. You take the $150 million, you secure lifelong financial freedom, and you wear the 3 stripes with a smile. But Alex hesitated. Why? Because Adidas had waited too long. They had watched her rise from the sidelines, hesitant to commit when she was a teenager, and only threw money at her when she became an undeniable global force. She looked at the $150 million offer from Adidas. She looked at the years of emotional investment and cultivation from Nike. And then, in a move that I can only describe as legendary, she said, "I'll do it myself." The announcement didn't happen in some stuffy corporate boardroom in Europe or America. It happened on a stage in Manila, surrounded by the people who had supported her from day one. Standing before a sea of Filipino flags, with a smile brighter than a Grand Slam trophy, Alex Eala delivered the words that completely shattered the sportswear industry. She told the crowd that she had been blessed to work with the biggest brands in the world, but she realized that the most important brand wasn't Nike or Adidas. It was the one that represented who she is, where she comes from, and what she believes in. And just like that, she unveiled Eala, her very own lifestyle and athletic brand, built entirely around the values of resilience, authenticity, and Filipino pride. The initial product line was absolute fire. The centerpiece was a jersey featuring the Sampaguita, the very same national flower that Nike had used to try and win her over, woven permanently into the fabric. She reclaimed her own symbol. There were caps, hoodies, training gear, all proudly produced in partnership with a Philippine-based manufacturer committed to ethical labor practices. "We are proudly Philippine-made," she announced to the world. "This isn't just my brand, it's our brand. Every piece you wear carries the heart of this nation." Plus, a portion of every single sale goes straight to the Eala Foundation, building tennis courts and creating opportunities for underprivileged children back home. She wasn't just selling clothes, she was building an empire and a legacy. The fallout was instantaneous and absolute. Within hours of the announcement, Nike executives were dialing into emergency crisis meetings. Adidas was completely shell-shocked, trying to understand how a 20-year-old had just rejected $150 million and blown up the traditional endorsement model. The numbers over the next week were devastating for the corporate giants. In the first 7 days of the Eala brand launch, her merchandise sales outpaced Nike's entire tennis apparel sales in Southeast Asia by 34%. Meanwhile, Adidas saw a massive 47% drop in activewear sales in the Philippines. The Eala effect had officially mutated from a ticketing phenomenon into a retail bloodbath. The panic at Nike was so real that an anonymous source told reporters it was a massive loss, not just in revenue, but in brand equity, because Alex represented the authentic connection with emerging markets that they had been chasing for years. To really understand why Alex Eala did this, and why it is so brilliantly calculated, you have to look at the blueprint laid down by Li Na, the iconic Chinese player who became the first Asian to win a Grand Slam. When Li Na won the 2011 French Open, 116 million people in China watched the final. It was Super Bowl numbers. When she won the 2014 Australian Open, the endorsement deals exploded. Nike, Samsung, Mercedes. She made $24 million in 2014 alone. Nike launched the Li Na collection and made an absolute fortune leveraging her authenticity. But here is the catch, and this is what Alex Eala paid attention to. Li Na never launched her own brand. She was the face of Nike's collection, but she didn't own it. The billions of dollars generated by Chinese fans flowed straight back to Beaverton, Oregon, not to Beijing. Alex Eala studied that exact blueprint. She recognized that her true value to these Western brands wasn't just her killer forehand. It was the 115 million Filipinos who had never had a tennis star to rally behind before. She decided that her community deserved to own a piece of the pie, and that she wasn't going to be just another billboard for a billionaire's corporation. As Fabien Paget, the CEO of 17 Sport, pointed out, if Eala succeeds, every single athlete with a passionate fan base is going to start asking why they are making millions for Nike when they could be making billions for themselves. The early financial returns are staggering. In the first month, Eala's brand revenue exceeded projections by 300%. It turned a profit almost immediately, which is completely unheard of for a startup apparel brand. But guys, let's be real for a second and put our tennis analyst hats on. The business side is booming, but the real test is what happens on the court. Because right now, the tennis reality is getting tough. Alex just wrapped up her Miami Open campaign, and it was a reality check. She exited in the round of 16 after a brutal straight sets loss to the Czech Republic's Karolina Muchova, going down 0-6, 2-6. The Czech curse is clearly still haunting her because she failed to defend the massive 390 points she earned from her breakout semifinal run in Miami last year and only earned 120 points this year. Her ranking has officially taken a hit. She just dropped from her career high of number 29 down to number 45 in the latest WTA rankings. Her total points fell to 1,255, allowing a bunch of players to leapfrog her, while Aryna Sabalenka sits comfortably at the top of the world with over 11,000 points. This drop in the rankings makes the timing of her brand launch incredibly high stakes. The European clay court season is officially here. We are looking at a grueling stretch. Linz, the Stuttgart Open, the WTA 1000 in Madrid, Rome, and ultimately Roland Garros. She is going to be stepping onto the red clay wearing her own logo, carrying the weight of an entire nation and an entire business empire on her shoulders. If she struggles on the dirt, the critics are going to be ruthless. They will say she got distracted by the business, that she should have just taken the Adidas money and focused on her forehand. But if she can translate this monumental commercial success into deep runs on the clay and climb back up those rankings, the Eala brand will become an unstoppable global juggernaut. Honestly, my personal take, I wouldn't bet against her. The resilience it takes to turn down $150 million and bet entirely on yourself is the exact same mental fortitude it takes to win Grand Slams. She has already changed the game forever. The traditional endorsement model is bleeding, and a 20-year-old Filipina is the one holding the smoking gun. The giants who underestimated her are still scrambling, trying to figure out what hit them, while Alex Eala is out here building a legacy that goes way beyond a swoosh or 3 stripes. What do you guys think? Did Alex make the ultimate boss move by starting her own brand, or should she have taken the $150 million guarantee from Adidas? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below because I read every single one of them. If you love this deep dive into the business and drama of the WTA, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an update from Courtside Classic. We are tracking Alex's journey through the clay season and bringing you stories that go way beyond the scoreline. Until next time, keep your backhands crisp and your business moves bolder. Breaking: Nike and Adidas panic after Alex Eala, sales go viral worldwide. This video provides an excellent breakdown of the global sales surge and the resulting industry chaos following Alex Eala's groundbreaking decision. YouTube video views will be stored in your YouTube history, and your data will be stored and used by YouTube according to its terms of service.